I have to be very honest. I'm actually surprised there's anybody in the room, seeing as it's the end of the day and it's nice and sunny outside. So thank you, everyone who's here. Thanks for coming. Thank you to everyone who put on this event. These events are really, really, really hard to pull off. And the level of professionalism and talent and all the little touches for this event in particular, I do these events all over the world, is world class. So thank you to all the organizers and the volunteers, and all the folks who are like, make this work and all the stuff work. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank whoever scheduled the weather, because like, that's amazing. TechChill is supposed to be cold. This is spring. Thank you for that. Well done. It's really fun to be back. It's fun to see how much this city and this community and this ecosystem has grown. There's so much energy here. You all should be very proud of the work you're doing. So my name's Zach, and today I'm going to talk about when you get fucked. So I have scars all up my back after the end of a 10-year journey where we thought we were going to be a unicorn and we ended up being a dead corn. And I'm going to tell you that story. So off we go. But before I do that, just so you know who I am. I'm currently an investor in San Francisco. I've been investing now for the last decade. So since we sold the dead corn, I became a VC. I like to argue that or like this joke that I am a washed-up founder, but I washed up on the beach that is being a douchebag VC, and I'm not fucking leaving because the beer is cold, and it's a lot easier, probably 10 times easier being an investor than it is being a founder. Any VC who tells you that this job is hard is lying to you, or they don't know. Being a founder is the hardest job in the world, and this job is much easier. So I've been doing this now for about a decade. Got lucky, invested in a bunch of different unicorns. Literally, one of the first checks I wrote was a company called Cruise, which GM bought for $1 billion a year later. And I was like, woo, look at that, I know what I'm doing. I had no idea what I'm doing. I still don't know what I'm doing, but everyone thought I did, and so my career just sort of took off as a result of that lucky entrance. But other companies you might know, Mercury the bank, Higgsfield the AI video creation engine, Firefly's the AI note taker, bunch of good stuff. My favorite thing about my job is that the founders are the ones now out fighting in the storms, and I get to chill on the beach and cheer them on. So thank you to all my founders. So anyway, back to getting royally fucked. So we're going to go back, way back in time, 2004. I was in grad school in Ireland. Didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. I'd written my thesis on the role of information technology in repressive regimes, so exploring how cell phones would change power structures. Super interested in technology. Had sort of started a technology company when I was in college. Have always been an entrepreneur, but I didn't know what to do with my life. And one of my friends was living in San Francisco. He's like, dude, come to San Francisco. It's awesome. And I was like, I don't know. Okay, whatever. So I loaded up my car, drove out to San Francisco, slept on his couch for a month, went to Burning Man, just broke in. No idea what I was doing. And so what I started to do was I started crashing tech conferences like this one. I would just sneak in, pretend like I was supposed to be there, not pay for a badge, just sort of like be that guy. And I was just trying to find a job effectively. And what I've learned relatively quickly is that if you tell people that you're looking for a job, everyone kind of doesn't really want to talk to you because they feel like you're going to badger them for the rest of the conference. And so I started telling people I had an idea to start a tech company because everyone likes entrepreneurs because, they're so cute. And so I was like, yeah, I got this idea. I'm going to start a company. This is me as a 25-year-old kid, super excited, had no idea what I was doing. And I was like, yeah, I got an idea. I'm going to start a tech company in ad tech. Because if you go back to 2005, ad tech was totally broken. It was just unbelievably broken on so many different levels. Clearly busted. And it was clearly going to grow a lot. So if you could look at the time at all of the attention on the internet, and then you could look at the ad dollars. So very few ad dollars flowed into the internet. a lot of attention. And then if you looked at the inverse, which was TV and then ad dollars, it was like, okay, ad tech's going to grow. So I was like, I got this idea. I'm going to start an ad tech company. And the first lesson that I would share with all of you is the secret to life is just being lucky with timing. I got lucky because in 2005, we were just exiting the dot-com sort of ice age. So the dot-com crash had happened. All the startups had died. Everybody fled to various caves to survive. And in 2005, we were just coming out of that. And so it was like, I literally went to like the very first party that TechCrunch threw in the backyard, Mike Arrington's backyard in Atherton, where, I mean, literally TechCrunch maybe 10,000 people a month read it. I mean, it was nothing. And he threw this barbecue that like 50 of us showed up for. And it literally felt like people had come out of hiding where they'd been hiding for years. And everyone was like, whoa, you're still alive. Whoa, good to see you. And so my timing was good. And the tech boom that has continued since then just started to take off. And so I'm at one of these conferences telling people about my crazy idea, which wasn't a good idea, but nobody knew any better because nobody knew anything about ad tech, including me. And somebody was like, ooh, that's a good idea. I'll fund that. Timing. Because when the boom starts, if you're there, anybody, any idiot can raise money, including me. So I was like, oh, okay. Next thing you know, I have a company, totally by accident. Had not planned on it, just like it was a total accidental fundraise. I called up my sister, who I started the last sort of tech company with, and I was like, she was surfing in Brazil. We were just doing nothing. I was like, we're starting a company, I guess. She's like, okay. She flies to San Francisco, and we proceed to not know what the fuck we're doing for a while, trying to figure out the ad tech space. It's funny, you could think of us as almost like a top in the beginning, because we pivoted 7 times in the first, I guess it would be 2 years, 3 years? 7 times in the first 2 or 3 years, always building ad tech products. We just were learning, and we would just build something, and it wouldn't work, and then we'd do something different, and it wouldn't work. But then eventually we found a thing that sort of worked, and so we were able to raise a bunch of money. Or we raised $1 million, which back then was a lot of money. And then Lehman crashed. So I don't know, for those of you who remember that back then, everything was great until it wasn't, and everything got really bad really fast. So at that point in time, we had been building what was called an ad network. We had like 10,000 publishers who worked with us. We thought we were doing really well. Lehman crashed, and we're like, oh shit, we're fucked. I mean, you could tell that the money was going to be dry for years. You could tell that our business as it was not going to work. And you could tell that, we were fucked. And so we did what became almost our last pivot. And we said, well, let's go for it. So what had happened was right before Lehman crashed, one of my investors had introduced me to this new idea he had, and it was called real-time bidding. And so the way it worked was that back in the day when you bought advertising, you'd go to a website like the New York Times, you'd be like, hey, you'd call them or send an email, be like, I want to buy advertising from you, and they'd send you some paperwork, and you'd push back and forth, and it would all happen literally over the phone and email, and then at the end of the month, they'd run a bunch of your ads, and then they'd send you a bill. Not very efficient. Didn't scale, didn't work. There's a reason why online advertising sucked. So the invention that my investor had was called real-time bidding. And the idea was that when a user shows up on the website, so user is loading the website in real time, instead of like basically just serving them an ad, you already know what you're going to serve them, instead you would call 2 different ad providers and be like, hey, who wants to serve an ad to this person? And then people would look at their data and they'd make a decision. Effectively a protocol. And he's like, I got this idea. It's going to be really good. It's going to work. And we looked at it. We're like, ooh, if it works, it'll change everything. It's more efficient. It's more effective. It's better. But nobody was using it. At that point in time, there was 20 million impressions a day flowing across all of what's called RTB, real-time bidding, RTB, in all the world. 20 million a day. The whole world, 20 million impressions. Effectively like $5,000 worth of ad inventory. Nothing. But we're like, if this works, it will get really big, it'll scale, and we might have a chance. Let's bet on it, because we're fucked anyway. Lehman's crashed, no more money coming in. Our existing business isn't working. Let's just bet everything on this crazy idea. And we were right. Not only were we were right in a very big way. And so real-time bidding went from 20 million impressions a day when we did it to 20 billion impressions a day or more. I think it's even more now. I don't even keep track. It's a big number. And so my team, we were all 25 and younger at that point in time, we rode this wave of exponential growth. I mean, it was insane how fast it grew. And then we still almost died. I mean, literally, capital was so tight during those years, even though we were growing like a straight line. We were barely surviving every day. The good news was, so at the time that this happened, there was like 6 companies that were basically doing the same thing. All of us were like focused on this idea of becoming this platform. We were the youngest, we were the earliest, we thought we were the smartest, and we were definitely the most aggressive. We did not win that battle. The winning company ended up becoming a company called The Trade Desk, public company now. At one point, it was worth $50 billion. I don't know how much it's worth right now. You know, the markets are what they are. But like, needless to say, the founder of The Trade Desk, one of my peers, is a billionaire now, and I'm not. So, long story short, we didn't know what we were doing. I was competing against people who are my age now, who knew what they were doing, and they kicked my ass hard. That's not the part where we get fucked. That's just the part of me losing because I wasn't very good. But this is where the story gets really interesting. So now, we're really smart in this space. We grew really fast, and then we just lose because we're not very good. Cool. Our company grew to like maybe a couple million in revenue. We fought like hell. Every day we'd call up customers. We'd get on the phone with them. We'd be like, hey, this is what we do. We're really awesome. And they'd be like, no. Long, hard, brutal slog. We're losing. We're not going to win. We're going to go out of business. Okay, startup life. That's what happens. Then, right before Facebook goes public, they had built their ad platform, and they had built it wrong. They thought that they were building Google. It turns out they were not, but they didn't understand it because nobody really understands online advertising, and they certainly didn't at the time. They fucked up in the way they built it. It was wrong. So they go right before they went public, in December Q4, they missed their earnings right before they go public. And that's bad, because their earnings had been like this, and then all of a sudden they miss. So Zuck goes to the Facebook ads team, and he's like, guys, what are we going to do? What are your best ideas? And the Facebook ads team's like, oh, here are 10 ideas that we have. And Zuck's like, go for it. Do all of them. Like, you guys got to make this work. One of those ideas was to partner with small, innovative advertising technology companies to allow us to buy inventory on Facebook for our clients and to work with their inventory. Before, they had been a closed, walled garden, and now they were going to open it up to little guys like us. And because I was good poker buddies with one of the founders of the Facebook ads engineering team, and I knew them really well, they called me. And one of my friends wrote this great book called Chaos Monkeys about this whole journey that he had. He was the engineer on the ads team. And it's a great book. If you want to learn about how this whole thing works, that's the book. He calls me and he's like, hey, we're going to do this. Do you want to partner? And we're like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it. Because we were fucked anyway. So we go and we partner with Facebook. And it works. Not only does it works stupidly well. So remember, we were back to about like $1 million, $1.5 million in revenue. And we partner with Facebook, and we get the ability to basically deliver the best product that the customers have ever heard of and they desperately want, which at the time was dynamic, creative, retargeting on Facebook. So in plain English, what that means is when you guys go to a website and you look at a pair of shoes, and then ads for those shoes follow you around the internet, before, they wouldn't follow you onto Facebook. Now, they did, and we were going to power that, which works really well. And so those same customers who would be like, no, we'd call them up now and be like, dynamic creative retargeting on Facebook, and they'd be like, send me the contract. We went from $1 million in revenue to $30 million in revenue in less than 18 months. And we had $300 million in revenue on the books. And our clients wanted to spend $3 billion with us. Literally, one of our biggest customers was Booking.com, and they literally like, guys, we have a blank check for you. a blank check, as much as you can spend, as fast as you can spend it. We want you to shove this money out the door at the highest speed you possibly can because it's crushing it. This is the best performing ad thing we've ever done. Hence, this is where we get fucked. So the Facebook ads team is like, guys, this is working. What do we do? And they have a big meeting. Cheryl, Zuck, the ads team, everybody's in the room. I wasn't in the room, but I've heard this story from multiple people. And they're like, okay, we partnered with all these great smart companies who are making our ad inventory work really well, and it's working, because before it was shit, and now it's working. Do we keep working with these guys and grow this, or do we bring it all in-house? Fast forward a couple weeks later, I'm at this party, and a Facebook party, and I'm hanging out with this engineer, and I was like, what are you working on? He's like, oh, we're building dynamic creative retargeting on the Facebook ad platform. Hence, they're building what we have. And I'm like, oh, that's bad. All of a sudden, the traffic that Facebook was sending us started going down. We'd call them and be like, guys, what's going on? Why is the traffic going down? They're like, oh, it's not going down. No, it's okay. We're like, but we have the data. We know how many users we send you, and we know how much we're getting, and we can see all this. And they're like, no, it's fine. Slowly going down. So over the course of a year, we could see that we were fucked. So we began the fire sale process. Now we have 30 million in revenue. We're basically printing money, and like we're growing like crazy. And like literally the fire sale process, which is one of the most excruciating experiences I've ever been through in my entire life. As a founder, to go from, we have no idea what we're doing, it's working, we're gonna win, oh my God, we're gonna crush it, we're gonna IPO, oh my God, we're gonna die. In that period of time was absolutely excruciating. We call everybody we know, trying to get a deal done, begging, pleading, guys, we need a deal. We've got all this traction, we got all this revenue. Needless to say, at the very end of the process, this big company says they're going to buy us, but at the last minute, they go to my CTO and they're like, actually, we don't want to buy you, but we'll make you a millionaire if you come join our company, and then just leave all your founders. And he comes to me and is like, well, we're not going to make any money anyway. So he goes, totally fucks us, the guy who ends up buying it, he goes to prison. Like, it's just this crazy end story that is absolutely insane. Needless to say, I look back, I have 3 lessons. 1, I'm better for it. It was amazing. And for every founder in the room, this is the lesson. Starting a company and the journey you will go through, as crazy as it can be, even if it ends up in tears, is going to be better than anything else you can do. Full stop. It's worth it. It's an amazing journey. 2, never partner with a big company in their strategic core competency. We partnered with Facebook, core competency ad, we fucked up. And 3 is, enjoy the ride, because it's going to be crazy. Thank you, everyone, for coming. I appreciate it. Thank you for that. The clock says 0. I was going to ask for questions. Do I have time for questions, or do we need to get me off the stage? I see a question. Go ahead. Yell it out. Okay, so I've been a douchebag VC for a decade now, and I just realized that I've reached middle age in douchebag VC-dom, which was a surprise to me. You think I would have figured this out years ago, but it took me a little while. I'm a little slow, I guess. I don't know. I love what I do, man. It's so fun to work with startup founders. Startup founders do cool stuff every day, and I get to sort of be part of the journey. I have this analogy that I love, which is that when you're a startup founder, it's like you're a gladiator in the middle of the ring, and you literally you're fighting. You got your sword and your shield, and you fight, and you bleed, and you sweat, and you just fucking fight. And they throw your enemies at you, and you beat them, and then they send 2, and you beat them, they send 4. You beat them, they start shooting arrows at you. I mean, it's like the gladiator with Russell Crowe. It never fucking ends. And you bleed, and you sweat, and you fight until you die, or you exit. And most don't exit. Most die. And it's the hardest job in the world. That's what an entrepreneur's journey is like. I literally sit in the stands, and I drink a cold beer, and I look at the founders, and I'm like, oh, I think that one's going to win. I'll bet on that one. And I'm like, oh, that one's screwed. I'm not going to bet on it. And every now and then, I get to run out in the middle and pretend like I'm still a gladiator and fight with them and be like, ooh, 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 I know how to fight. And then I'm like, okay, this is too much work. Okay, I'm going back. So yes, I love my job. I love working with entrepreneurs. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for TechChill. Well done, guys.